Oh, hey there. Welcome to another edition of Cool Places Across America with CNL. I'm Chuck. Lori's in the house, getting Leroy ready. Yep, we're off on another adventure on a nice weekend here. And if you're a history buff, this is one that you're really going to enjoy, especially if you're into military history. Today, we're going to drive over to Carlisle to the Army Heritage Trail at the U.S. Army Heritage Education Center. This is their outdoor museum. It's about a mile-long trail filled with basically the history of the U.S. Army. Great place to walk a dog. Also a great place for history lessons if you're into military history specifically. But that's coming up next here on Cool Places Across America with CNL. As we're driving, let me just say that the Army Heritage Trail is located in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Interstate 81 runs right next to the facility, and there's several exits for Carlisle off of I-81. Now, the Army Heritage Trail, it promotes themselves as an experience, a walk through history. And the trail serves as the outdoor museum. There is an indoor museum that you can also enjoy, and that has some great features as well. But when you're at the Army Heritage Trail, it's about a 1 mile loop, and you're going to find all types of military history, specifically U.S. Army history, from the American Revolutionary War up to the modern day Gulf Wars. You're going to see tanks, you're going to see helicopters, you're going to see barracks from World War II. This is a really cool place to go and visit. Okay, as you can see, we made it to the Army Heritage Trail at the U.S. Army Heritage Education Center. When you pull in, there's obviously a big sign introducing the facility. Tons of parking. We're here on a Sunday. We're practically the only people here. Now, we can't show you the inside of the building because it's not open today, but the trail is open from dawn to dusk, and it's a nice walk. And one of the neat things about this whole facility. It's like an outdoor museum. And here, one of the very first signs that you'll see is about Major Joseph Faust, who's retired. And this is basically his story about M17 Bradley Fire Support Team vehicle. And you'll find these types of stories throughout the outdoor museum area. Before we get too far onto the trail, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and hit that bell to receive notifications of future episodes. Okay, so this is one of the really neat exhibits here at the Army Heritage Trail. You can actually walk through a World War I bunker, and as you walk through it, there's a bunch of little historical notes about the front and what the roads were like and camouflage trails, and it shows you machine gun nests. I'm going to do my best to show you as much of this as possible. This is pretty cool. And here we've come to a part of this exhibit, a little bit behind the lines, I guess you can say. This looks like it was designed to be like a mortar pit. One thing I want to point out is, in the background you probably hear a lot of traffic. This outdoor museum is literally right next to Interstate 81, so I'm sure that that's going to interfere with some of the audio at some point. So I'm trying to take advantage of this to describe the local area the best I can. This is really an incredible type of display, and if you're traveling along I-81, it's definitely a place that it's worth stopping in and taking a walk and stretching the legs. Boy, I bet you this was needed a lot during World War I. Aid stations. Here's an example of one in the trenches, what it might have looked like. Oh, and there goes Leroy and Lori. And interestingly, they're going to Dog Street. Okay, we're exiting the exhibit for the World War I trenches now. And let's head off to the next display. Okay, and the next exhibit that we're in is actually the German side of the trenches. I guess we're walking into through a tunnel to a German machine gun nest.
Okay, so we walked a little further, and now we're in the Vietnam War era. The display here shows several different types of weapons used in Vietnam, and as you can see in the background, I said earlier, this comes right next to I-81, so there's a little bit of traffic nearby, and it can get a little loud. Okay, so we're walking into the American Revolutionary War, to a structure that really, let's face facts, freedom went through a structure like this in a major battle. This is going to be redoubt number 10. Again, another really cool exhibit here. Gives a good description of maybe what it was like in the American Revolutionary War, with the exception of the traffic on the interstate, of course. But again, another really cool exhibit here at the Army Heritage Education Center and Army Heritage Trail. So as we walked a little further on this trail, we went from the American Revolution to the Civil War era, and we came into a winter encampment scene. And this behind me here is what the enlisted men would have slept in during the winter of Civil War. Doesn't look too comfortable, but you know what? They dealt with it, and they fought for this country to keep it together, and it worked, I guess.
Okay, that was fun. We're back in the car. Again, that's about a 1 mile trail. Obviously, very flat, all cindered. Dogs are welcome. You'll see little kids with their families. You'll see families with other dogs. And if you're a history buff, and especially military history buff, as I've said before, this is a really cool stop. Certainly a cool place in our country that if you have a chance to visit, you should. If you served in the U.S. Army, this is, you're probably going to be walking into your past by just going on the trail by itself. There's history from all eras of the U.S. Army here, but for now, we're gonna find one more thing for this episode to have some fun with, and it might be a little tasty too. So let's get this car started and get on the road. Well, there you have it. Another episode of Cool Places Across America with CNL. We want to thank everybody for watching this episode and also ask you to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell so that you can get notifications of future episodes. We really enjoyed the day. It was a nice little walk over at the Army Heritage Trail and then some good ice cream here at Brewster's. I do want to point out that in Carlisle, there is another really, really good ice cream place, which we featured in our last episode, and that was a place called Leo's. We recommend Leo's, too, if you're looking for ice cream. But for now, again, thank you for watching this episode, and until next time, we're out.